Hello everyone and welcome back to our continued playthrough of Dragon Warrior 2 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. In this video, I'm going to show everyone how to reach Moonbrooke Castle and rescue the princess. So as you can see, here we are starting out in Hamlin Village. Do a quick status check. The first thing to do here is we want to go ahead and talk to the stray dog who's wandering around the village. And we will note that the dog acts peculiar from other observed ways that non-playable characters act. So as you can see, the dog talks in a typical barking fashion. And you see it tries to join our party, which is very strange for a random non-playable character. So, if we leave Hamlin Village, we'll note that the dog disappears. But we'll explore that later. So let's head south now, towards Moonbrooke Castle. As you can see here, the enemies are a little easier to fight since I've gotten my levels up a little bit. To do Moonbrooke Castle, I suggest you want to be on at least a level 11 for the hero, and ideally 10 for the prince. Not so much because of the enemies, but because of the amount of poison and the constant need to heal, which you will see when we arrive there. So, we're just going to heal our poison here, and we're going to travel west. So Moonbrooke Castle was the castle from the beginning of the game that we saw that was destroyed by Hargon's armies. We don't know what's become of its inhabitants, including the king, who we saw was slain, and the princess, who was left up to our imagination as to what happened to her. So we're going to go investigate that in an attempt to find the princess. Because at this point, aside from some ideas, we don't know where she's located. No one knows. So we're just going to fight our way through this battle here. A good recommendation is to use Fireball on the lizard's flies and have the hero focus on the centipedes. You'll run into this type of fight a lot around here. What I recommend if we run into any healers, which here some are, actually you hit these a lot here, always run from them if they're with another enemy, because you'll exhaust an exorbitant amount of resources just to beat zombies and that for a small gain. Once you get Infernos for the princess, it makes fighting the enemies a lot easier because you can just cast the spell and wipe them out pretty quickly. So we're just going to go ahead and beat up these centipods. Fireball and basic attacks work well, and it's usually 2-hit kills. Once you get a better weapons for the hero, you can one-shot these guys. I just don't have anything right now. I've been saving my money for armor for the prince. So here we are at Moonbrooke Castle. As you can see, it is fully engulfed in poison. And we're going to go ahead inside. So the enemies here are not that difficult. Just have to be cognizant of the amount of damage that can be taken from the environmental factors, mostly the poison that's everywhere. So we're just going to go ahead and heal for good measure, and go ahead in. So as you can see, there's really nothing left. Everything's been damaged. There are some flames that move around, which we'll go ahead and speak to. It's presumed that the flames are the souls of the residents of Moonbrooke Castle, or the guards. They were transformed or killed by Hargon. They never really explained. So as you can see, this guy said Hargon's coming to destroy us all, but he doesn't really tell us anything more than that. You have to kind of poke around at the walls here to find the ways. As you can see, we're in the king's chamber, and this is the ghost of the king. Hopefully he knows the whereabouts of his daughter. Daughter has been cursed and transformed into a common mutt, so she was turned into a dog. As everyone remembers from the start of this video, we saw a very friendly dog at Hamlin Village. So now we're going to find our way back to the actual scene of the crime at the intro of this game. And you'll see how very difficult it can be. So again, you have to go poke around, and outside the castle we have to walk through all this poison. and constantly have to heal, because you will, if you let your hit points drain all the way down, they won't just stay at 1, you will perish. So as we get down to the bottom, we have to just kind of poke at the walls to see how to get in, and there we go. So as you can see, I got beat up pretty hard there. I'm very low on magic points at this point, and this could actually be a problem, because if I get into some fights, I may not actually survive to make it back to Hamlin. But that is okay. We can work around that. So the princess has been transformed by a curse. Only the Mirror of Ra can break the spell. The Mirror of Ra is the mirror needed to restore the princess, and it's the first reference to it in this game. So, but we don't know where the Mirror of Ra is. So now I have to traverse back through, because to my discredit, I missed one of the flames that I could have spoken to before coming all this way, and I could have just left out the side. So this is going to take a good chunk of hit points to get back. As you can see, I am really low on magic power at this point. I have a feeling I'm not going to make it back to Hamlin, but that is also okay. We can show you a little workaround. So as you can see, the Mirror of Ra was lost long ago in the southwest of east of Hamlin, in the place where 4 bridges can be seen. So that gives us a clue as to where the location is, because as we all know in Dragon Warrior, the most precious of items are always lost in random areas that have to be found. So now we need to leave here. Before that, we'll just check out these treasures. They're empty, of course. So is this one, as I remember. And now we can go ahead and leave here. A quick way to leave is just to go out one of the sides and just step out. Now, as you can see, I have a problem. The hero's only got 2 HP, and I have no way to heal him. So he's going to pass away at the second step. There it is. So now it's just the prince. I'm going to attempt to make my way back, but if I pass away, it's okay, because there's nothing down here that I actually needed to retain. So I got the information I needed, and now as you can see, I passed away. So we will just restart in Hamlin. As you can see, I'm back alive. So that was worth the trip, even though I did perish, because it gave me the clues I needed to find the Mirror of Ra. Now, if you had waited until level 11, 12, you won't have the issues I ran into. But again, I like to live on the wild side when it comes to this kind of stuff. So we're just going to bring the prince back to life, and we'll go stay at the inn. Again, right now I'm not concerned about my amount of gold. I'm just more concerned about advancing my levels and continuing the storyline. So we're going to stay at the inn here, and then we're going to go out and look for the Mirror of Ra. So they gave us a clue as to its location, but it does take some walking to get there, and I don't remember the exact way. So we'll just go the way I think you go. I know one way takes you to a tower where you get the Cloak of the Wind, and the other way takes you to the Mirror of Ra. So we're just going to save here for good measure, and we'll go ahead and leave the town out the back here. So we're going to basically head south again, or we can go east as well. But in this case, we're going to try and go south and then head east. I didn't think this was the right way. So we're just going to head south a little bit, go around this mountain range. I recommend running from baboons. At this point, they are very strong, and I'm not really ready to take on 3 of them at once. These smokes are pretty easy. They'll cast stop spell, but it rarely ever works. So you can hit them with fireball, or 2 hits with the hero and Tally. So as you'll see, as I travel here, I'm gonna run from fights that I don't really think I'm ready for, in an attempt to balance my hit points and magic points. Because right now, again, the hero and the prince are still kind of weak, and I have yet to upgrade my armor considerably, which is my next step after we rescue the princess. So we're just gonna go ahead and kill this guy and 2 hits should kill him. There we go. And we'll keep working our way over to this area that they reference with the 4 bridges. I'm hesitant to go this way because if I remember correctly, it's not the right way, but we'll try anyway. So there's a bridge. We can run from this fight, but there's no escape. It sometimes is better to keep running from a fight even if you don't run on the first time, because the hit point hits you'll take, you don't consume as much magic and resources just being in the fight. So yes, I went the wrong way, so we're going to double back here, and we'll run from this guy. Zombies are still a little bit hard, and we're just going to keep following this mountain range. This is like the fight central around here. Magidrakis you may remember from the first game. They are basically the same strength equivalent. They cast sleep. I think they do stop spell. Stuff like that. So we're just going to take out this smoke. They're pretty easy to take out. They have weak defensive power. As you can see, they reward pretty well for such a small fight in terms of gold. So we're going to head around. There's Moonbrooke Castle again. And we're just going to run from this guy. And we're going to head east. Now, I'm pretty sure this is the way to go. It's funny, after all these years, you remember some things, but you can't remember others. So I'm going to go ahead and run from this fight. Baboons, I don't like to fight them right now. Wizard flies I'm okay with, but we'll just run anyway for good measure. And we'll go down around this little river here. Army ants. So, I tend to fight army ants, even though they're really weak and don't give a lot of experience, because they do have the ability to call for help, and as they replenish themselves, you can actually rack up experience pretty quick. Fighting them, it doesn't look like that'll occur in this case, because I'll probably kill them faster than they can call for help. Sometimes you kill one, they can call for help 3-4 times, and it actually works. And then you get a considerable amount of experience, not so much on gold. So I'll show you just for this good measure. These are the same magic ants from before who can put you to sleep. So we have to be very careful of that. And the babbles can poison you. So we'll try and target them first. Now I find when you have spells for tally, it's better to use Fireball than it is to fight, because you'll get the fight done quicker, which actually saves on resources. Because if you use the weapons, his attack power is weak, and you'll be fighting and fighting and fighting, and your hit points will drain, and then you have to heal. It's better just to use Fireball and end the fight if you can, than to drag it out. So as you see, I picked up an item called clothes. We're just going to sell those. So here we are. As you can see, there are multiple bridges. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, and the swamp that they referenced. Now, the Mirror of Ra is in one of these. I just don't remember which one, so I'm just going to start at the bottom right, and I'll work my way up and check. I think it's the bottom right or the top right. I can't remember. So we'll just wipe out these Magidrakis here. So the same principle applies. We'll just keep an eye on our healing as we step on these things. It'll take 4 hits to find it, probably. And there it is. So we have found the Mirror of Ra. Now we need to go back and use it on the dog that we see wandering around the village of Hamlin. And hopefully that dog transforms into the princess. Now, in the same manner as when you first meet the prince, I don't know the princess's name. In this case, you don't find that out until the transformation is complete. So we'll find out what her name is when we get there. There's a whole list of names, and it's randomized every time. And again, the same as the prince, she'll say her one and only line in the game when you rescue her, basically thanking you for helping, and she'll be joining your party. After that, they don't say anything else for the entire game. No one does. So we're just going to keep working our way back to Hamlin. We need to go as far north as we can. And then we just cut right and go over the little bridge, and we're back at Hamlin. As you can see, the guys are fighting is a little easier here. We'll just, for good measure, wipe this guy out pretty quick. Done. I like to fight as much as possible on my way back from something, because I know if I'm confident, I'm gonna make it back to where I'm going. So in this case, we've reached Hamlin Village. We'll fight the zombie just to show you the kind of power that he has. As you can see, he can reduce your hit points fairly quickly. I need to heal, but I will keep fighting this guy just to show you. So as you can see, he can knock you down pretty quick. So coupled when you come across a zombie with healers, I usually recommend you run, because the gains you get from the fight is not really worth it. So let's go up and talk to the dog here. We'll hold the mirror up in front of it, and we'll see what happens. And I'm holding it, actually. The Mirror of Ra. So as we hold it up, we can see that the reflected image back of Princess Gwen, her name's Gwen this time, good, a nice short name, and the princess transforms into the Princess of Moonbrooke. So, in typical Dragon Warrior fashion, the princess, again, will start with no experience, no weapons, and really nothing usefulness other than I believe she knows heal more. Yes, she's a bamboo stick and clothes, and she knows heal more. But I guess she has an excuse because she was a dog. So we're just going to go ahead now and sell some of the items that we acquired on our travels, because it helps towards purchasing armor and weapons for our party. So let's check here what we got. We know Gwen doesn't have anything. So let's start with me. I picked up some clothes. They basically sell for like 25 gold. And then we have to exit the item shop and talk back in if you want to sell something for a different party member. So I'm going to go ahead now and stay at the inn, and then we will save this game. So now we have acquired our entire party, and we just need to continue our adventures to eventually challenge Hargon. My next step is to fight around here for a while, again, level up the princess, and get some weapons and armor for everyone. The next video will focus on getting the Cloak of the Wind from the Eastern Tower. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and more will be coming soon.